Welcome everyone. Corporate Pistons, episode 02.
Welcome back.
Exactly, welcome back.
02.
Yeah,
02, but it's actually the third episode in realistically. It's different platforms, like I think we said it last time, different platforms look at it different ways.
it's
So
a new
yeah,
episode.
it's either 02. Yeah, it's a new episode. May You know what, Bogdan? Maybe we should just start use instead of episodes, we should just use the calendar week that people use it in the corporate world.
Oh God,
Oh, I'll have this component to you by calendar week 17. What is it? We're in calendar week 20, I
something
think.
like that, 20
So
or
we
21.
should use that.
Not sure I'm sold on that. I'm
20.
yeah. Let let's put that in the parking lot and we'll
Well, it
revisit
is.
that idea. Uh,
What, you need to send this idea to a bunch of approvals? Is that what you're telling me
Exactly. I
now?
think we should have a review session on it, maybe like a workshop or something, and then we can decide.
Yes, okay.
Right.
All right, fair enough.
So, what is the theme of today, Adi? What are we chatting about?
Yeah, I looked through our notes. It's a big one actually. It's quite a serious tone, at least in the notes that we have.
Ooh,
It's corporate stress, stress from the corporate world, or stress in the corporate world. It can be it can be looked at multiple ways.
indeed.
So it's a heavy one, I would say, but we'll see how fun we can make this and poke some fun at it.
Indeed. And I think one of the best ways to relieve some stress normally is just to vent or to rant about stuff. So, in the spirit of
I mean, tequila and other substances help as well, but that's not
true, I
what we're
mean, according
doing
to
on the
chemistry,
podcast.
alcohol is
So,
a solution. So, yes. Um, yeah, in
yeah,
the sense of the podcast, how about we just start as we normally do with a bit of a rant and a bit of a mood check. So, as we did
yes,
last
sir.
week, we have the corporate rant of the week.
You go first this time.
Ooh, you sure? Because
You go first
I
this
have a
time
big one.
because
Well, I actually have two rants.
go for it. No, it's all
Okay,
you. Okay, go
I
for it.
have two rants.
Rant
My
number
corporate
one.
rant number one for this week is virtual workshops. And not the virtual workshops themselves, because they can be great tools. They save a lot of time on traveling. You can do them from home in your underwear and all that stuff. And it's a quite an efficient way to get
Yeah.
stuff done. But everyone knows many people are still doing
Mm,
emails on the side, or not everyone's paying full attention, and you're just staring at your screen for like 4 to 8 hours straight, and it's just not the most engaging experience.
mm,
But for me, particularly, the
mm.
biggest pain point is when you go to a virtual workshop, and I had one this week, and I tried to do it properly, like set out a proper out of office email, actually close my Outlook app so I wouldn't be distracted by emails coming in and out and all that stuff. But I still had the
Hmm.
Teams channel open because the workshop was on the training was on Teams. And
Right.
the amount of people that would just constantly ping and message and try to call me, even though I had the do not disturb, leave me alone, all that stuff throughout the day, was absolutely horrendous. Like, absolutely grinded my gears to no end. Like, I actually tried to pay attention to that stupid training, and all I could do is just keep chatting, or my eyesight kept darting back to the chat area to see what other catastrophe was happening in my inbox that people had to message me privately about. And
Oh God.
yeah,
N- I agree with you on the Teams thing, or before we used to have Skype. The the status, the do not disturb, like the red
yeah, yeah.
circle with like a white bar inside it, or like the busy. I don't think any of them have any meaning anymore. Honestly, I'm with you on this one. I mean, okay, I'm guilty of trying to call somebody who it said they're in a meeting, especially when it's super urgent about something. you're like, okay, let's try anyway if they're maybe able to answer and that you disturb them.
Mhm.
But I agree with you. I think the status in Microsoft Teams has no meaning anymore. No realistic meaning anymore.
And unlike the good old days when you were
Oh
using
man, I feel for you.
YouTube, Yahoo Messenger or stuff like that, I don't think on Teams you can set your status on invisible or something, just to disappear.
You can set it to offline, and it's the same as invisible, and it'll become a gray cross. But I think people have learned that trick now, and they still disturb you.
Well, I haven't learned it clearly, so maybe I'm the idiot. But I'll try that next time and see if it improves the mood in any way. But yeah, absolutely
Okay.
ridiculous.
Okay, so that's rant number one then,
Yeah,
is it?
that's rant number one. Just virtual workshops, virtual trainings, and people not caring about your team status. I sound like a boomer now, but yeah,
Team status.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. I agree with this. Okay.
And
Go on.
corporate and
Second
rant
one
number
then.
two is actually a bit of an automotive rant. Not very corporate related, this one, but
Okay.
I think it still fits with the podcast. Um,
Okay.
so you know how I very recently, about a month ago, bought a new car. It's well, not new. It's a
Yeah.
second-hand car.
Yeah.
It's a 2009 Mini Cooper S. Really love the car. It has
Yeah.
its quirks, it has its personality, but I really think the car has potential. I really enjoy it. And I bought the car
Mm.
from a nice, well-established dealership. All the checks turned out great. Everything checked out nice and great. I immediately took it in
Hmm.
for a service, oil change, filters, as you should, just to be proactive and look after it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Regular
Yeah.
upkeep.
And then
Hmm.
I started driving it up and down the country. And I've done about 3,000 kilometers with it in the last 3 to 4 weeks. So that's around
Good God.
2,000-ish
Okay.
miles for the
That
Imperials
was,
out there. And yeah, quite
yeah.
quite a bit of a journey. And last week, as you might recall, I
Hmm.
mentioned that I was not in the best of moods because my car was in the service for not very working reasons. And what happened
Yes.
in the last week or so was I did a longerish trip, about 500 kilometers with the car, got to my destination. As I
Hmm.
was navigating the streets to get to where I was going, every time I was turning or braking, the big red engine oil light was popping up on the dashboard and then disappearing.
Oh, good
I
God.
tried to be an optimistic and I thought, oh, maybe it's a dodgy sensor. I read online that sometimes these cars do that.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, fair enough. It has personality.
Y-
The next day, I had to
Okay.
take it in for a service anyway because the parking sensors weren't working. That's a whole different story. And on the way there, it
Okay.
started doing some very dodgy noises. It almost sounded like a diesel at that point, a very non-budget friendly
Oh,
noise coming from
jeez.
under the bonnet. Took it to the mechanic. He
Uh-huh.
looked at it. He said, "Bro, it sounds like the camshaft or the valves, or somewhere around that line. Quite an expensive. It sounds expensive. I think was
Hmm.
the words of the mechanic, which is when you're fucked."
Basically, the engine needs to come off.
Well, he said,
Yeah.
"Let's
Basically, the engine needs to come off
pretty
almost.
much," but he said, "Look, I'll fill you up a bit on oil because the dipstick looks a bit dry, and let's see how it goes."
Hmm.
So he chugged in about half a liter of
Yeah.
oil in it. I got it home. It was sounding better. I checked the dipstick, still wasn't very happy. I chugged in another half a liter of mine. All good. Did another 500
Okay.
kilometer trip, came back home, all good and dandy. And then earlier this week, I was sitting in traffic and I noticed it started making that rattling sound again. And as I was sitting in traffic, I saw this faint blue smoke coming up from under the bonnet, which is never a good sign.
Oh, jeez.
So
Faint blue
yep.
smoke.
And naturally, I pulled over, opened the bonnet. Didn't It smelled like burnt oil underneath there, but I didn't see any, clear oil splashes or marks or anything anywhere on the engine. Called my mechanic, and he was like,
Mm.
"Bro, he was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I did a check on your car. It looks like you also have like a thermostat error somewhere in the error log of the car. Is your engine overheating or
Oh,
something?"
God.
I'm like, no flipping clue because the British engineers didn't fit it with a water temperature meter nowhere on the car. And I have no warning lights on it, so no, how should I know? The engine's warm, but
Oh shit!
can make the difference between 90 degrees and
Oh
200.
shit!
So
Oh
as I
god!
was sitting there, the car started sounding normal again by its own, like didn't even turn off the engine or anything. It just started sounding normal. So I found another mechanic in the city where I'm in right
Mm,
now. And I took it over to him.
mm,
And on the drive there, again, some dodgy noises, some diesel-ish noises coming from a petrol car. And when I get there, the mechanic is like,
mm.
oh, yeah, small engine, lot of horsepower, petrol car, just sell it off. You're better off just selling it off. And I was like, mm,
Oh good god!
maybe not. Let's see what the issue is. It's like the issue is it's burning oil. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. What's going on here? So he said, look, I could take your engine off, but it's gonna cost you more than it's worth. So let's just put in some oil in it and see where you're at. And indeed, as I suspected, but in all honesty, I didn't do anything about it because I wanted the mechanic to see it in all its glory. It did need some oil in the car. Um, the full
Mm.
oil pan on the car is 4 and a bit liters. My car needed three
Oh good
liters.
god! Yeah, all the extra that you put in there is also out, basically.
Well, out of the 4 liters that it can take, I needed to fill it up with 3 liters so it would be on the mark on the dipstick. So I was running around with a liter of oil in my car. Um,
Oh
and
god!
now, obviously, the question and the burning question is where the fuck is all my oil? And after doing some internet research, I found a statement from the manufacturer that said this engine is perfectly within spec to use up 1 liter of oil every 1200 kilometers, so like 700-ish miles. They call that within spec. And I'm just, you know,
That's insane.
yeah, at this point, I'm like, you should really stick a label under the bonnet, like, please fill up with the oil every time you fill it up with gas, something like that, because it's yeah, it's not fun driving around constantly having to check the dipstick to see where you're at with oil. So yeah, that's my rant my automotive rant of the week is
Well,
where the flip is my oil.
well, it's not, it's a bit more than a rant, Bogdan. It's like your car literally is dying. This is
It's not dying as long as
oh
you pour
man,
oil
I
in
am
it.
so
The, it
that's like saying, oh, this person is not dying as long as you pour more blood into him.
Exactly. I mean, hospitals do that all the time, and they call it the medicine. So yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Oh man, you've had a rough week,
Oh,
huh?
that's not even the half of it. And obviously now I'm a bit
Oh,
paranoid. Every time I hear a faint rattle or a faint noise in my car, I'm like, what the flip is going on? What's that? And is
mm-hmm.
that just old car noises, or is that piston number 3 preparing to make an exit from the engine block? Um, it could be any of those. So yeah, I guess
Oh,
the
jeez.
moral of the story is if I don't know, Castrol, Mobile One, Motul, if they want to sponsor our podcast, I would be very grateful for some free fuel oil because my
Yes,
engine's gonna
yes,
need it.
actually, yeah, we're open to sponsorships. We're absolutely open to sponsorships. We are appealing to the engine oil companies to start with.
Yes,
Yes.
please start a GoFundMe page for my car.
Oh man, I'm sorry though. I'm sorry though. That's crazy. That sucks. I hope your mechanic is able to fix it. Even if it's a little bit, right now it's a little bit investment heavy. I hope you can get it up and
Well,
running, and
the
I hope you don't have to sell it. And
Well, the problem is the mechanic that I trust is 500 kilometers away. So one way or another, I still need to do another long trip with the car. So that's another liter of oil
Mm.
probably going into it.
Oh, great.
But yeah, um,
Just just buy the 20-liter oil things you can
yeah.
get. Just put it in the boot and you're good to go. You can travel the whole world.
Oh, look at me. I just ended up owning another project car when all I wanted was a nice little daily to chug around. Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see how this okay, jokes aside, I really do wish it works out, and I do hope it comes to the daily status that you want it to be in rather than a project car.
Well, who knows? You'll
Shall we actually
Yeah, I was about to say
go
you'll
on?
you'll have to tune in next week for another round of what the hell's going on with Bogdan's car.
Bogdan, it looks like we might have to start a second podcast just for your car adventures.
God, I hope not. I really hope this was just an episode and we can move on and my car is gonna keep running smoothly from now on.
I think that's what's will happen. That I think that's what's going to happen. Uh, it's just a one-off thing.
Yeah, sure. Famous last words.
Um,
Right.
I actually don't have any rant, to be honest. I actually had a fairly good and productive. I mean, of course, there are minor niggles and uh, certain people annoying me, but that's, we've already been through that, so I don't want to repeat that. Um, so, shall we skip on then to the main crux of the main theme for today, corporate stress?
Yes. Yes, we can. The committee shall allow it.
So, we want the committee shall allow it. It's approved. Okay. Deadlines.
Yes.
Thoughts? Are they meaningful? Are they useful? Or are we just, we're just in a corporate job and we need it and that's just what it is? What do you
I
think?
mean, for sure, deadlines are one aspect of what causes stress in the corporate world, I guess. I think, like you said, the team is
Mm-hmm.
quite complex and quite heavy-sided. So there's plenty of things that
Yeah.
could cause stress, and I think, both of us, and I think everyone with a job, not even just a corporate one, but pretty much any kind of job, has been through different stages of stress for various reasons. Be it, I don't know, starting from the job interviews kind of stress to actually first day on the job kind of stress to, stress coming from the day-to-day aspect of it. And I think that's what we decided to try and talk a bit about today is more the day-to-day side of the stress rather than the one-off big
Mm-hmm.
milestones kind of stress. And admittedly, for a lot of people, I would say yes, deadlines are the biggest stress causers because nothing gets your blood going more in the morning than coming into work and finding out you have like 6 missed calls and 14 emails reminding you, oh, this is now super urgent, has to be done by the end of today. Come on, can you make it happen? Let's push, let's focus, blah 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 blah. Now, in the sense of are they important? I would say yes, because I'm not sure about you, but I don't really work well without a deadline. Like, I work great under pressure, but problem is I don't really work without the pressure. So I need deadlines to keep myself going and to keep myself organized. So I tend to self-assign
Yeah.
deadlines for most of my tasks just to give myself a little challenge and keep me on track with everything that I have to do. Um, I think the
Mm.
deadlines get a bit abused and a bit of a bad reputation once you just start throwing unrealistic deadlines or just stubbornly doubling down on a deadline that's proven to be unfeasible. I think that's when the frustration and the stress starts piling up when you see that imminent milestone or deadline looming into your inbox and you know there's no way you can hit it. So I guess at that point
Yeah.
it's one or the other. There's two sides of the same coin. You can look at it and be like, fine, there's no way I'm gonna hit it. It's just a job, and what will come will come. And then I guess there's people, and I've been one of
Mm-hmm.
those people many times before, where I was stressing about what might happen if I don't achieve the milestone or the deadline, and that was causing me more stress because I was stressed about being stressed about what might happen, if that makes sense. So it was just a pile up
Mhm.
of stress. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
I think they're very much
Mm,
a must in the corporate world or in life in general. I think we all tend to assign deadlines one way or another. Either if it's just I must do the laundry on the weekend or something, or I must go grocery shopping after work. That's also a deadline. Um, but I do feel like sometimes, especially in the corporate world, they tend to get a bit abused and just thrown around because many people think if I stick a tight deadline to it, people are gonna focus more on it, which I don't think is the right approach.
mhm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more actually. E- every everything you just said tracks with me. I'm the same way. I need deadlines. I need a little bit of pressure to work. But like you said, there's a fine balance between what's an acceptable amount, like a healthy amount of pressure, and what is obscene amount of pressure.
Hmm.
Uh, and this obscene amount of pressure does not come from deadlines alone. It comes from the people you work with that basically harass you to get stuff done. Um, Even though you're on track, even though you're doing your job, even though you're everything is going as it should, there are people who need things done yesterday. Basically, they're like, "Oh, I need it immediately." No other
Yeah.
options. Um, I'll be honest, I actually had a case, a massive case like that last month with one of my projects. And I kid you not, I had a migraine because of the amount of pressure I was being put under
Ah, damn.
uh, at home or at work. At home, I was really struggling. And that took a hit on everything else that I do outside of my job severely. I mean, really bad impact. Um,
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Luckily, I no no. I mean, don't be sorry. Because it was part of learning, I think, and now I've learned how to not only deal with the stress. I mean, I literally took a few days off. I turned everything off, my laptop, my phone, everything. Just went to a nice lake, found a hotel, sat by the lake, listened to some songs, read a book, chilled, and came back, and I was fine.
Uh, Nice.
But more importantly, I learned how to deal with people like that. And I've always been the yes guy, sadly. Just saying yes to everything and everybody asking me this and that. Um, I've begun, I'm still not great at it, but I've really begun my putting my foot down and saying, nope, it's going to done when it's supposed to get done. I'm not going to do it earlier just because, you know, things seem to be on fire on your side. That's not my problem. Uh, I mean, short of saying F off, I've really started dialing it down now. So no, I completely agree with you. And I had a case. The migraine I had went on for like 3 4 days. No jokes. I think I messaged you as well. I'm like, Bogdan, I'm really sorry I can't speak with you today. I'm struggling with the
Yeah, I remember you
migraine,
were off.
and it went on for ages. Yeah, yeah, it went on for ages. So no, I fully agree with you. But on the other side, I also agree that deadlines are needed because that is progress, having certain things completed by a certain date. That's just how the whole world works. It's not just a corporate thing, I would say. It's the whole world. So yeah,
And maybe one
agree with
thing
you
that
on that one.
I discovered, and I admit I'm not using it as much as I probably should or could in day to day or in the corporate world, but I think also one aspect
Hmm.
of deadlines, and especially like you said, the annoying deadlines, the very tight ones, and the people that are pressuring you to get it done faster, better, and all that. I think it also boils down to
Yeah.
communication to a certain extent. Because, like I said, a
Yes.
lot of
Yes,
people
absolutely.
use deadlines as a mean to assign importance to topics. And a lot of people will just
Yes.
send you an email saying, oh, this needs to get done by the end of the week or ASAP or whatever. Whereas when you actually talk to them
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, but why do you need it by that date? And they're like, well, this is not really
Mm-hmm.
needed by that date, but I just want to know it's done before a big milestone in a month's time or something like that. Then if you manage to have that open, honest communication with the other person, and admittedly, it's not always easy to find a person that's as honest with you as you are with them, then you can say, okay,
Yeah.
fine, I understand. So you don't need it by the end of this week. You need it by the end of next month. So I'll do it in 2 weeks' time. How about we compromise? I'll do it in 2 weeks' time. Then you have a buffer and everyone's happy. But yeah, a lot of people, in my
Well,
experience, just throw the deadline. They're thinking that's gonna solve their issues.
I'll go one step further again and say, yes, I agree that the way people set deadlines is sort of reflects the urgency of the topic, but it also reflects the people. You know what I mean? Because I've had I've had instances where people were completely okay, even though it needed to be done by the end of the day. They were okay to just let me know once and then be done with it. They didn't bother me till the point that it was actually needed. Like they actually needed the results, or they needed whatever it is they asked me to do.
Hmm.
And that is what I like, because then look, they've communicated when they need it by, and then it's up to you, whether you have the integrity and the commitment to get it done and to keep your word. That's really what it comes down to. But if there are people who tell you, okay, we need it by the weekend or end of the week, but then they still keep calling you every 2 to 3 hours to check on your progress, or not check on your progress, but to see if they can get an update.
Ah, hate those.
That is then awful, because then you have to spend 15 minutes every 3 hours just to give them an update, and that's not productive, and that causes further stress, and because you now effectively have less time to accomplish the task that you need to accomplish.
I'm with those.
And that's where, so yes,
Yeah, go ahead. No,
go
no,
on.
go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say, so yes, communication is key, it's important. But the communication is determined by the people that come to you with these things.
I totally agree. And
So,
yeah, I was about to say that with those people that, just ask you for an update every few hours or so, what I normally do is just, straight up decline their calls, or if they just message me or write, I just have a copy and paste message going like, still working on it, will update you ASAP or something like that. And I just copy paste the same message. And I once had a conversation with someone where my last 3 or 4 messages to that person were just the same line. Still working on that. Will update you ASAP, almost like an automatic reply. Because
this is where we need Chat GPT or some such tool integrated into our system. So I can just tell Chat GPT, if every time this annoying person messages me, I can just have Chat GPT answer them, and I don't even want to see the
notification.
the chat message from this person.
That
Yeah, that would be
that
great.
that I agree, because the amount of time my blood pressure went up just because I saw someone's name pop up in my chats. Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
And if it builds sort of a toxic culture within the working environment, and that's not a good thing. But
fully
anyway,
agree.
people are people, you can't change them. What are you gonna do?
Well, I don't think we're allowed to speak out loud what ideas do cross our minds sometimes. But what what we can do, and this is, I think you touched on it very beautifully a bit earlier, is okay, how do we manage or get rid of the stress that we accumulate throughout the day, week, month, whatever? And you mentioned it very nicely about
Yeah,
finding a nice lake, finding a hotel, disconnecting from everything, and just sitting along with a book and enjoying some personal time. And that
exactly.
sounds beautiful.
Well, that's one. That's more of like a, what you can do if you actually are on vacation or something.
Exactly.
But I think we should see how we can tackle this on a daily
Yeah, a
basis.
solution for the mere mortals that, can't
Like,
find a lake close to their house every day like
ex-
you can, or,
I don't have a lake close to my house, my friend. Let's not. I drove a 7-hour trip to find the lake.
Oh,
Thank you very
excuse me,
much.
you just booked yourself a weekend spa in Lake Como in Italy or something, probably just chilling. Yeah, totally like the rest
Yeah,
of us.
yeah, it was Garda.
Yeah, me and all my friends, we do that every weekend as well. We just drive up to Italy to chill on Lake Como or whatever. Um,
Hey, you live in Romania. You can easily go to the coast. I forget the name of that town. It starts with a C
Constanza.
in the coast. Constanza. Yeah. That that is as good as the French Riviera from what I hear. I haven't been there
Mm,
yet, but I want to go.
Thanks.
But it's supposed to be spectacular.
Thanks for the advertisement. It's great. It's nice. I wouldn't quite put it up there with the French Riviera. Maybe price-wise, yeah, does get close to the French Riviera, but not. I think the views differ a bit.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. But going back to the point, on a more,
Yeah.
day-to-day, budget-friendly option, how how do we deal with stress other than starting a podcast? What other options do you use or do you know of that worked for you?
Actually, maybe this is also a topic for the three listeners that we might have on different platforms. We are open to, if they have suggestions or how they cope. But for me, what I do is if once the day is over and I turn off my laptop and the work phone and whatever,
Hmm.
it really is off. I am not going to take a call, and I've started doing that over the last year or year and a half, I would say.
Yep.
I I on it. I mean, nothing against anybody who I work with, or nothing against the company or anything like that. But after I turn it off, after I've decided my day is over, it really is over. I do not care if something goes on fire. I really don't. That's the only way I've been able to sort of
Yeah.
completely get away from it. And I do go for walks. I enjoy going for long walks, especially if it's green outside, like if it's nice outside, like not in the city, but somewhere outside. Then yeah, that's perfect. That's the simplest, cheapest, uh, effective way that I know. But I'm open to
I mean,
options.
depending on how my car behaves, I might be joining you for those long walks soon because I don't think I'll be able to drive anywhere. Um, but no, I agree. And I do similar thing in the sense that after a long day at work, feel like I've done, if I feel like I've reached my mental capacity of dealing with stuff, the moment I clock out or turn off my laptop or walk out the office building, whatever it is, I actually put my work phone on airplane
Mhm.
mode and I'll be like, it gets back
Mhm.
online tomorrow morning or something like that. Like between now and I don't even
Yeah,
want to
exactly. Exactly.
hear it vibrating or sense the notification because I have no self-control. If my phone
Exactly.
vibrates, I'm gonna look at it. And if I see an email that looks
Yeah.
mean or that looks important, I will read it and then I'll just sit there
Yeah.
stressed the whole night thinking about what I'll have to do the next day to solve it. So I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, and your whole mindset is gone by that
Oh
time.
yeah, 100%. I'm not even back at
Yeah,
work. I'm just in this purgatory of stress where I'm just in between. I'm just sitting at my couch feeling
exactly.
guilty that I'm not doing work to solve the issue, whilst knowing full well that I cannot solve the issue until the next day when everyone else is back at work. So, yeah. I'm just
Exactly.
screwed.
I don't even have a couch. Yeah. So I'm even more screwed. So,
What did you sell it to the pawn shop
um,
to found your trip to Italy?
no, I don't know if I told you, but I moved to a new place recently, and it's still not furnished because the flooring needs to be redone. So before I do the flooring, there's no point buying any furniture because I'll have to take it out again if they have to do the furniture. So
Yes.
it's just been hanging and it's just been open and empty.
So you're
So if you hear any echoes in the background, it's because my apartment is empty.
not because you're living in a huge mansion and you just can't help with the echo.
No, that's 15 years from now.
Ah, good target, good target.
You
Yeah,
you gotta have these targets anyway.
indeed.
So
No, what
yeah, no, I that's it. That's
I mean, the only thing I can think about
I'm
adding,
open to options.
um, I mean, obviously we have, the
Yeah.
main ones that you read on all the blogs and all the Instagram reels and all that that says, oh, just go for a run, meet up with your friends, hug a pet, hug a tree, the the standard ones. Um,
Yeah.
for me, yeah, running,
I'll tell you what.
yeah, go ahead.
No, go on, finish your
Yeah, I was about to
sentence.
say, for me, running does help a bit when the weather is nice enough that I feel like doing it. And other than
Yeah,
that, sometimes it's just perfectly fine to come home, crash on the couch or chair or whatever you have, and just doom scroll Instagram or
I
just
agree.
sit there and I don't know, watch cartoons or whatever makes you happy. Sometimes you just don't have to be productive
Exactly.
after work. You can just sit there and accept that you're depleted, you're tired, and you just want to do nothing and use up as little energy as possible. Order some takeaway and just do that. And I think that's also a perfectly fine way to deal with stress.
You just have to make sure that you don't fall into that rhythm every day. That's all. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I would have done 10 years ago,
Okay.
even if it's a weekday.
Hit me.
I would have gotten wasted, smashed, like kill all the brain cells that was the reason for stress that day, and just completely smash them.
Well,
Get
don't
smashed.
don't get me wrong. I am a firm believer that you can get shit faced on a random Tuesday just because. So, I'm that
Yeah,
friend. If you call
exactly.
me up for and ask me to go for drinks, on a Monday morning at 8, I'll be like,
Middle of
let me shift some meetings. We can make something work here. I'll be there for you.
exactly. Yeah. Let's move the meetings to Wednesday because we need the time to recover. And yeah, but the only reason I don't do that now is because one, my liver is already dead. Like if somebody needs like liver transplant and they came to me for help, I'd be useless to them. You can just make a hat out of it. And second, if I did that, if I got completely smashed, I kid you not, man. My age, like hangovers last over 2 days. I'm not even joking.
Oh,
And
damn.
I hate it. Oh, it's awful. It's terrible. That's the only reason I don't do it, or else I would still be doing that day in, day
Well,
out.
luckily, I don't
That'd be
have that
perfect.
problem yet. I can still recover fairly quickly from a hangover. So maybe what I'm taking away
Oh, just wait, my friends.
from this conversation is that I should get wasted more often while I still can.
While you still can, yeah. If your hangovers last less than a day or less than half a day, do it. Use it. It's a superpower, as far as I'm concerned.
And I think with that, we just solved corporate stress. We went full circles. We're back at tequilas and getting wasted.
Yes, yes, we did. Yes, we did go full circle. It was very poetic.
There you go. If you're stressed, just get shit
Nice.
faced. Solved.
Solved. Problem done.
Next,
Problem gone.
next,
So is your liver, but who cares?
you won't live long enough to feel the problem, so it's fine.
Exactly. Given all the other craziness happening in the world, who
Yeah,
knows?
exactly.
Shall we do our final little car thing for the week?
Yes, yes, we shall. And just like, pretty much every other week by now, it's all about. I think we had quite a
Mm.
big automotive angle and automotive rant coming from my side in the beginning, and I'm happy to complain about
Mm-hmm.
my Mini Cooper some more if anyone wants to hear about that. But let's hear about you, Adi, and what car would you like to be stuck on the German autobahn in this week?
Well, for this week to be stuck on the German Autobahn, I would be choosing uh what I want, like this resto mod trend has been picking up like crazy.
Yes.
So first Singer started it with Porsche, and then there was another, I think Tuthill is the other company that started doing it with Porsche again. And then there was a couple of companies that they were resto modding the Jaguar E-Type. Then there was Alphaholics.
Mm-hmm.
So my car of choice this week is a little bit imaginary because it doesn't exist. So if anybody listening out there is interested in doing this as a project, that includes you, Bogdan. I want a resto modded BMW E30 3 Series, the second
Oh
generation 3
yeah,
Series.
nice. I think there was someone out
Uh,
there who did
it,
something.
it's I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they've. I mean, that's a car that's not. I think it's like begging to be Restomar. I know there's a company near Mercedes AMG who's doing the 190E,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
Mercedes, which is sort of the same price and era as the 3 Series, and so that's what and a Cabrio version of that would be nice. I don't want too much horsepower and stuff. I just want it to handle beautifully, look nice, nice leather. Take the, like the convertible
So,
top
what would
off.
be
It's
a
nice.
sweet spot in terms of horsepower for you on that thing? 200, 250? Where would you aim it?
Yeah, nothing more than 300, I would say. Nothing more than
Oh.
300. Because, like all these restaurants, they take a modern engine from the same company, put it in the old car, beef it up, put some carbon fiber bracings everywhere so it's strong and it can handle the torque and rigidity and all that, and then do it. So, yeah, nothing more than 300, I would say, for that car, because the original BMW M3, it what did it have? It had like 250
200-ish, I think, or
horsepower, if I'm
240,
not
something like
mistaken.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like 233 or something like that, I believe. I forget the exact number. So yeah, nothing, somewhere around that would be good. Nothing crazy, but still amazing fun to drive and a limited slip diff, and that's what I would be love to spending my traffic jam moments on the Autobahn in this week. How
I think
about
you'd
you?
look cool in that. Well, for me, since you mentioned the French Riviera earlier, I just can't help but yeah. Now my mind is there, and if we're talking the French
Okay.
Riviera, I don't know why, but I'm always associating French Riviera with a Ferrari. Like it just, I don't know, my mind just goes there. They
Yeah, of
go
course.
hand in hand.
No,
And
it's fair,
since
yeah.
it's my fantasy and I can do what I want in it, I would go for the new Ferrari, the 12 cylindry uh, Ferrari.
12 cilindri,
I didn't
yeah.
want to butcher the Italian language that badly, but yes, that one. And
It's nice. It's a really, I saw some reviews. It's very
I
nice. I like
I
it too.
think Ferrari are doing a great job at still putting cars out there that look sexy and aggressive and mean, and I'm all up for it. And yeah, that's what I would love to be cruising on the French Riviera, and just I think it would feel nice to sit in a car that's big engine, lots of horsepower, and sitting there with confidence that it won't run out of oil halfway through the drive. I think that'll be a nice
It's
feeling.
it makes up for all the lack of confidence that we have in other parts of our
Oh
life.
yeah. Yep, that car has more than enough personality and confidence to compensate for other things.
Yes. Yes, it's a massive. Yeah, no, that's a very fair car for a very fair place, I would say. I agree with that one. I like that car too, actually. So,
Yeah. So I guess that's where we're at, and that's what we would.
That brings it to the end.
Unless
Yeah.
you have any car issues or car problems that you want to share, or um,
No, but I am due for a normal service for the taxi that I drive. Um, so it will be going into service next Wednesday,
okay.
and it will be coming back the the consequent Friday,
Oh, damn, that's a
or
big service then.
2 days later, basically.
That sounds like a very big service.
Yeah, it is due because it's a yeah, well, it's not a very big service. There are also a couple. I had a couple of hail damage on the car. Not many, just like 4 or 5 spots, small ones.
Hmm.
And the mechanic or the yeah, the garage told me they would need it for at least 1 or 2 days, and they said they'll give it to me by the Friday. So it's gone for two. It will be gone for 2 days from next Wednesday till the Friday after.
Okay. And then the asshole Mercedes mobile is back in business.
Yes, the German taxi, the German police car, the asshole mobile, whatever you want to call it, is back.
Well, looking.
But for me, the cars are women, so I call it Grace.
Oh, that's a very nice name.
Oh, I just broke your entire asshole
No,
theme
no, no.
for my car.
I'm a feminist. Like women can be assholes as well. That's perfectly fine by me. That's
This is true. This is true.
I'm an
This is
equal
very true.
rights
Yes, we have to
asshole, so
be
you know I'm
advocates.
exactly. I don't discriminate like that. And
Fair
it's
enough.
quite funny because in my case,
Yes.
my Mini Cooper, it struck me with boyish vibes. So his name is Hector. So yeah,
Hector, okay.
so yeah,
Gotcha.
you have your saving grace over there working smoothly and just needing a little appointment at the spa for refreshment. I have Hector, who's an
Pretty much.
alcoholic oil chugger with a problematic liver and God knows what other issues.
Well, looks like we're stuck with two assholes for now then.
Indeed, indeed. But
I can't believe we just gave our cars a complete character. It's
I,
insane.
I,
We really need to find people and
I'm
friends.
pretty sure that we're not
Seriously.
alone in the car community to name our cars or give them personalities. I'm pretty sure that's.
No, but normal people hearing this would think that we need to be admitted immediately to some mental psych
Oh,
ward to get
we
rehabilitation.
do, but for totally different reasons. That's part of a different podcast altogether.
Right.
Uh, all
Okay.
right.
Let's not go there then.
Before we log off and
On
go
that
away,
note,
Adi, do you want to share your new favorite catchphrase that you just learned last week?
oh, you bastard. Why would you do this to me? Oh,
Because someone has to.
n- the, oh, God. Oh, you could do it, but fine, I'll do it this time.
Go for it.
I don't want to say it, but the three listeners that we have, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for staying with us for quite a long podcast,
And don't forget, you can find
and have a
us
wonderful week
also
ahead.
on Instagram and YouTube. We are at Corporate Pistons. So if you do want to reach out, you can find us there. And yes, like Adi said, thank you very much for sticking with us so far. And yeah, have a great day ahead. All the best and logging off.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.